Alright, quick tech tip. So if you are trying to decide on an intake manifold for your heads, one of the most important places to look is the roof of the port. So the roof of the port is where a majority of your airflow is going to come from. So this is a piece of cardboard with an additional piece of cardboard sitting right there. Okay. And now what that is a gauge. Okay. You shape these two pieces of cardboard together and tape them, and this will show you the angle of port entry. On the manifold, you make another one, okay, for each one of them to show port entry. Okay, so what you're gonna do here is I've got one of my cylinder heads here. So the roof, that fits perfectly. Okay, you can't see up in there, but this fits perfectly. All right, now in order to compare this to how your manifold is going to sit on there, get your gauge from your manifold. So here's the one for the Super Victor 2. Okay, sorry. So this is my gauge for the Super Victor 2. If you look, if I were to flatten that out, this is going to be hard to do, but this is important for you to see. Here, let me see if I can do that. Aha, I can turn my flash on. Alright, so this is the Super Victor 2. So if you look up there and I put this flat, you can see it doesn't fit, right? That's not the way you need to look at it though. You gotta flip it around and then put this flush. If you look, you see how when that's flush, it's coming in at a very steep angle. It's coming down and then making a very steep and abrupt change up to the roof. That tight bend where the flow's coming in has to make a turn and come back up. That hump is not only going to hurt flow, it's also going to hurt fuel atomization. Now, looking at the AFR, low rise, here's its go, no-go gauge. Okay, it fit on there perfectly. So obviously it's not going to this way, but that's not what the port entry is going to look like. So you got to put that flat against there, and it'll look just like that. And then if you move that down to where the actual port entry would be, which is where the end of that cardboard is, and now it's flat. Now you see how that makes almost a straight line into my port? That's a huge difference. So, and this took me like 5 minutes to make all three of these. So you make the go no-go gauge on the actual manifold. You see how it fits on there perfectly. It goes to each one of these and fits perfectly. Then you flip that around, because that's how it's going to sit on the face of the port, and it's a straight line on this. Conversely, sorry if I'm making you sick, this is the go no-go gauge for, this is the go no-go gauge for the Edelbrock Super Victor. So this is how it would go on the Super Victor, which means I need to flip this around and put it right at the port entry, and again Putting that flat, look at that sharp downward transition. This is a problem with the Super Victor 2s and requiring roof reshaping. However, my roof here, this is, other than the floor being a little bit more open because of my blower manifold, I went a little bit bigger. But if you look at what I'll be running for this combination, this is a 1206 gasket. Let's get that perfectly aligned. If you see, it's essentially a perfect fit for a 1206. Let me get that bolt hole more centered. There you go. So it's a perfect fit for a 1206 gasket, with the floor being just a little bit too big for it, but that's just how I had to do it, my blower manifold, to get the flow I wanted, and I'm not doing that anymore. So anyway, so that is just a quick tech tip on a quick and easy way to, there's special tools for this, but that's a cheap, quick and easy way to figure out what that shape is.